Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. Um, I recently posted a video about relationships and virginity, and I'm, to be honest, filming that video was hard. Talking about that was hard, but looking back, it's only been like 2 days, I think, but looking back, filming that video was definitely worth it because it helped me as well. I see it as in helping others, I help myself as well. Because like 2 months ago, I couldn't even talk about the damn thing without freaking out about it or like just being so scared to even verbalize it. I couldn't even verbalize it. And then just knowing I made a YouTube video and put it on the internet, it's just growth. It's a reflection of growth. Sort of off topic. That's not what today's video is about though, so that's a little spiel. In today's video, I actually wanted to talk about my name change and that whole aspect of my trans journey. So when I first came as trans in January of last year, I used my birth name. I didn't immediately change my name to Liv. I used my birth name until August 17th, 2020, 3 days before my birthday. I was happy with using my birth name. Like, it didn't give me dysphoria or anything on the, let's say, during the early stages of my social transition journey. And then it was weird, like on August 17th, 2020, like my mind just started fighting with itself, and I'm just like, I just started feeling dysphoric and like a little bit distant from my birth name. I'm like, this doesn't feel right anymore. I don't know what's going on in my mind, but this doesn't feel right, and I'm fighting with myself again, and I don't like this. And from past experiences, I know that whenever I experience internal conflict, like I fight with myself, like my conscious mind fighting with my unconscious mind. Whenever I fight with myself, I know that something has to change. It's my unconscious telling me something has to change. You can't keep doing this or doing the what you're doing right now. That's something I learned about myself. If I'm fighting with myself, something's up and I need to change something. I didn't know why I was fighting myself. Like, consciously, I felt okay with my birth name. Like, consciously, I'm like, this name's fine. I don't know why my unconscious or subconscious mind is telling me to change my name. I don't see the problem with it consciously. But then on that very day, I started thinking of different names. I tried, I tried like different stereotypical I tried different masculine names like Michael, Miles, Peter, Sam, the general ones, the ones that are quite common. None of them sat well with me. And I knew that if I was going to go with a different name, it had to sit well with me. Like, I had to like it. I had to like the sound of it. I had to see myself in that name. None of those names, the typical names, none of them sat well with me. Like, it wasn't me. And then I remembered the name Liv. From For those of you who play video games, the name Liv I got the name Liv from a video game called The Last of Us Part 2. If you play video games, you may have heard of that game. I got the name Liv from there. And the character in that game, Liv, is actually trans. But I did not pick the name because the character is trans. I picked the name because I liked the name and it sat well with me. And I could see myself as Liv. Something else I know about myself is that my unconscious mind, 99.999% of the time, is right. For example, I had dysphoria. I experienced, just off topic, I experienced gender dysphoria for a very long time, but I didn't know what it was. And a few years ago, when I started my LGBT journey, trying to figure out my sexual orientation, I had a feeling that like I wasn't cis. It's like something just felt off about like living as female for me. Like, it wasn't me. Like, I felt uncomfortable with it, but I kept suppressing it, repressing, suppressing. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the conscious. I think it's suppressing. I kept on suppressing those thoughts and that part of myself, like I censored it, like it's not acceptable. It's like, you're not trans, you're cis. Okay, you're not, just suppress the dysphoria and move on with your life. And I did that for years. And then the more I tried to deny my truth, the stronger it came out, basically. It's like I can't run from my truth. And my unconscious mind basically has been telling me, through dysphoria, this isn't you. You need to change something. You can't keep living as female. This is not you. And then here I am, living as a trans man on HRT. My unconscious is not wrong. Consciously, I couldn't understand why my unconscious wanted me to change my name. But I did it anyway because I figured my conscience is usually right, like like pretty much all of the time. So I'm like, I may not understand it now, but based on my track record, something has to change. You have to change your name. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep fighting with yourself and just make your internal world more chaotic. And then on that day, I just started going by Liv. And I told my friends in my inner circle, hey, I'm gonna start going by Liv now. Can you please start referring to me by Liv? And then that's what I did. And on that day as well, 17th of August 2020, I was really scared of changing my name on Facebook. Like I wanted to change my name on Facebook, but I was really scared too. I'm like, oh no, what if someone knows and everything like that. I did it anyway, even though I was scared. I did it anyway. I changed my name to Lev on Facebook, and it's been that name ever since and to this day. And I do not regret that decision on that day to change my name to Lev on Facebook, nor do I regret the decision to start going by Lev, because I'm just more euphoric now. And had I continued using my birth name, I would just feel even more dysphoric and make my life a lot more miserable unnecessarily. So that's what happened. I recently got my legal name changed to Liv. I have a legal birth certificate. I'm legally recognized as Liv. I started changing my ID, like my driver's license. I have a driver's license now. That's no longer my birth name, my old photo, or my gender assigned at birth. This is no longer female. It's male, it's Liv, and I have a new photo and not one with long hair. In the process of getting other things changed, like I got my bank name changed legally because I had all the ID and documentation required. And for context, I live in Victoria, Australia, and the process of changing your name, it's pretty straightforward. Go online, get some statutory declarations, get a supporting statement, apply, and pay for it. And then they'll send you send back your original birth certificate, they'll send you your new birth certificate. It's pretty straightforward, and I'm actually really glad I live in a state. I don't know if they have in other states in Australia, but in Victoria, that's what it is. I'm glad to be living in this state and like have the laws that are more like progressing towards supporting trans and gender diverse folks. It's just becoming more and more inclusive with time and with changes made at like the state government level. So that's really a positive thing. It's honestly a very tedious process changing all of my legal docs and ID to Liv, and my newly recognized gender as it's male. They recognize sex, not gender, so like it's male, but that's like sex, not like gender. I'm a trans man. Like male is just biological, and like I don't know. I don't really like using the word sex because I'm not a cis man. Like I was not assigned male at birth, so I'd rather say man than like I'm a male because I'm not a biological male. Different point topic for a different video. Despite all of this being a very tedious process and there are challenges that arise along the way, it's worth it because gender euphoria, living my truth, like being recognized for who I am, by like legally being recognized by who I am, it's gender euphoria for me and not gender dysphoria. Just being dead named, being recognized as female, and just seeing my old photo everywhere on my ID. So this last section is dedicated towards trans and gender diverse folks who are thinking of changing their name or just feel dysphoric in their birth name and just want to try some things. I want to say it's okay to experiment with a different name. If using your birth name gives you gender dysphoria, it's okay to try new names. Maybe not legally yet because you might not like the name that you're trying, but just try it. I recommend trying it in like a social circuit, so your social circles and like in a social context first. And if you like the sound of it, if you like being referred to that name, then go for it, like keep it. But if you realize, oh, this name, I don't like it, it's not me, I don't like, it's not me, I don't like hearing it, I don't like being referred to it as it, it's okay to try a different name. Like it's okay to not have the answer to like, okay, I'm gonna change my name to this and I'm gonna stick with it for the rest of my life. Like, no, it's okay to try different names. Yes, it's okay to try different names and there's no problem with it. If your social circles and spaces, like spaces that you go to, are really trans and gender diverse inclusive, they wouldn't mind you trying different names as long as you do what's best for you, honestly. In my experience, I went by Liv for since 17th of August 2020 until like early March this year before I got my name legally changed to Liv, because I've used it for over 6 months already and I knew that I liked the name. It's me. I've used it in social circles. I like the name and that's when it's like I've used this name long enough. I know this is right for me at this point in time. So I decided to get my name legally changed to Liv. That's my experience. In fact, like late last year, like November, December, I thought of Levi as well. Like I'm like, should I change my legal name to Liv or Levi? And then I wasn't sure which one to go with. And then I started using Levi in my circle of close friends for a few months. But then after that, I realized I didn't really like the sound of Levi as much as Liv. And so I just changed, I kept Liv and I used Liv. I changed my legal name to Liv. I don't mind being referred to as Levi, but I wouldn't want that to be my legal name on all of my ID. And I knew that because I've used it in a social context and stuff. And I've seen it in like, I've seen, I've seen it on like documentation stuff. Not legal documents, like just like forms in general. And I don't like the look of it or the sound of it as much as Liv. That's why I decided to go by Liv and not Levi legally. It's also okay if you like have two different names that you like and you like interchangeably use it. Like it's okay as well. You don't there are like no rules. Like you don't have to stick with one name in your social context for the rest of your life if you don't feel comfortable with that. It's okay to experiment with different names. It's okay to use like change it if you don't feel comfortable, or it's okay to also keep that name if you feel comfortable using it. But most importantly, it's okay to not have all the answers, and it's okay to like play around different names and see what sounds good to you and that you see yourself in and you feel happy with. Like if someone calling you by X name just makes you feel miserable inside, don't keep using that name. It's okay to change. It is okay to try different things, like I said. Like for example, food. If you never tried a food before, like you wouldn't know whether you like it or not. It's only after you try it that you know for sure whether you like it or not. It's sort of the same thing with trying different names. Like it's okay to not know. Ultimately, it's doing what's best for you and what makes you feel most comfortable in your own skin and being you. That's the ultimate, most important thing, I think. Your mental health and well-being and what feels comfortable for you. Thank you for watching, folks. I hope that wasn't too long. I don't know how long the video's gone for. I don't know how long I recorded for. but that's okay. That's all, folks. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that might be.